Thanks to the support as a channel member, JT Wood. Well, the January transfer window has been and gone, and we've done our club record sale. I reckon I could give you 5 guesses, and you wouldn't guess right who the person who's the new club record sale is. Of course, now I've said that, you'll eliminate the obvious ones and probably get to him by a process of elimination. If I hadn't have said that, you wouldn't have guessed him. Promise. Hello and welcome to Club 2, Part 21 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have 2 league games for you. We're away against Reading and at home against Birmingham. Since you were last with me, mixed form again. It's always mixed form. We're a team that's probably good enough to be in the playoffs, but probably not good enough to go up automatically. I think that's probably where we'll be forever until we get that 1 year where we just happen to go up through the playoffs because the stars align. You can see we've been struggling for goals a little bit in there as well. This is what the league table looks like. 29 games gone. We are in 3rd place, but we're also 8 points behind West Brom, who are in 2nd place. This has kind of been the shape of the league table for most of this season. Aston Villa are already effectively back up into the Premier League. West Brom look like they're probably going with them. And then the playoffs is probably going to be these 4 teams. Brighton and Brentford and maybe even Blackburn might feel like they could still get involved, but it'll probably be us 4. Watford, were involved last year. Middlesbrough were mid-table last year. Charlton were in League One last year. So Charlton are this year's Peterborough. You never know. We might get a run of form together and find a way into 2nd place. 8 points isn't insurmountable, but it's also pretty unlikely that we're going to catch that up. We're much more likely to fall out of the playoffs altogether, I would suggest. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for the transfer news. You want to know who we sold. This is who we sold. We sold Reece Devine for £15 million to Brighton. This is Peterborough business, if ever I saw it. A year and a half ago, we spent £120,000 to bring him in from Manchester United. He's played a season and a half. He has been an assist machine. We are going to miss his assists. 28 assists in 70 games, 8 man of the matches, a fantastic average rating in a football manager world where that kind of average rating doesn't happen anymore, in a world where fullbacks are supposedly broken. We had a fullback on a 7.26 with 15 assists from 28 games this year. It's no wonder he fetched £15 million, but it's £15 million. We can't turn down £15 million when we've got Gaz Key at the club, who is homegrown and in the same position, 2 years younger, ready to come through into the team. And if you're worried that Gazkey's not quite ready yet, don't worry. We brought in Paul Hecker on loan from Manchester United to the end of the season, whose star rating-wise is apparently as good as Devine. He's a slightly different kind of left-back because he's right-footed. Really, he's a right-back, but he's got 4-star current ability, 5-star potential. Like I say, supposedly as good as Devine. I imagine him coming through is the reason Manchester United were willing to let Devine go. He's played 7 games for them in the Premier League this year. He's started 5 games for Manchester United in the Premier League this year at 19 years old, 10 under 21 caps. I think we've definitely upgraded at left back and made ourselves £15 million in the process and given ourselves 6 months to really make a decision about Gaz Key. Is he going to be someone who breaks through into this first team? He's come through our youth system. Is he going to be good enough? If he's not, then we'll need to sign a left back in the summer, but we're going to have lots of money to do it. And the rest of the signings and transfers and things that we've done, by and large, have been loans because we're kind of in limbo where we don't know what league we're going to be in next year. And permanent signings are pretty much impossible to bring in permanent signings that are any good. You can see that we tried a few. We've got Lewis Morgan, who came in on a free transfer from Inter Miami. That one was arranged back in the summer. He's a left winger, previously of Celtic and St Mirren, who's been at Inter Miami for quite some time now, looks like they've stolen the home logo, which is unacceptable. He's a left winger who's come in immediately valued at £9.5 million, but he's 28 years old. He's not a typical signing for us, but on a free transfer, it seemed like a bit of a no-brainer at the time. In the efforts to continue trying to improve the attack, the wide areas, as I think I've probably decided Jones is a striker now, and Patton probably is a striker too. Let's upgrade the wingers. So we've got Noam Emeran, who's come in from Newcastle. He's a French former under-19 international. Not quite as good as I thought he was going to be. Probably not going to play very much. He's been on loan at Doncaster last year and didn't pull up any trees. 300,000. We're probably going to be losing £300,000 there, but it's a bit of a theme with these permanent signings. The problem we've got is players who are actually good enough to improve our team. We're third in the Championship. Players who are actually good enough to improve our team aren't interested in signing permanently. We've signed the best players that will come in permanently. And here's another example of them just not being as good as what we've already got. We've kind of hit that ceiling. This is when you know it's time to move on from a club. And I think if we don't get promoted this year, these are the alarm bells that are telling me it's time to move on from Peterborough. As much as I love them, as much as they're my team, we can't improve this team anymore because the players just won't come. So Lewis Gibson is a 2.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability defender. He's not as good as Sullivan or Anderson or Sykes. He's the best centre-back we could find. And then to finish things off, George Byers is an attacking midfielder, central midfielder. Again, 3-star current ability. So he's not as good as Jack Taylor. He's apparently better than Kasani, better than Zakowski. So he's theoretically an improvement. He's got Premier League games under his belt, lots of Championship experience. So he's certainly the calibre of player career-wise that you'd expect us to be looking to bring in. But his star rating suggests he probably isn't actually that much of an improvement. Someone who is a significant signing there is Jack Joyce, who's 18 years old and going to be a superstar. He's got 3-star current ability, 5-star potential as a striker. He was scoring goals in the MLS earlier in the year. He's on loan from Wolves, where he has a Premier League goal last season. He's only 18. And my vision was a front three of him, Jones and Patton. It hasn't really worked out because Joyce hasn't scored yet. But it's definitely there as an option. I think we've upgraded the team for sure. The only other transfers, we've had a few players leave. Our youngster, Stephen Boyd, has gone out on loan to Barrow, where he's got 4 goals from 11 games. It looks like they're playing him out on the left wing, which is a little bit frustrating as he's a right-footed striker. We probably should have brought him back from there. He's been there since November and they're playing him out of position. Malachy Walcott's gone on loan to Wimbledon until the end of the season. We've sold Dominic Hyam, who was one of last January's. He's the best we can find, so let's buy him things. And he's now moved on at a profit, I might add. So it's not always a disastrous idea. And Taylor Richards has gone out on loan as well. He's gone on loan to Sheffield Wednesday for the rest of the season, mainly because he wasn't getting anywhere near the team. He was more of a wide player than an attacking midfielder. And George Byers has kind of come in and taken his squad spot. Not that we've played him yet, because Hecker, Gibson and Byers all signed yesterday. It's the 1st of February. They all came in on the 31st of January. So we have freshened up the squad a little bit. Time will tell if it's improved enough for us to reach the promised land. And we're against Reading first up. What we're tending to do is in our away games, we're doing the 4-3-3 and then switching to the 4-2-3-1 when we're at home. So we're doing a 4-3-3 in this one. Ryan Wintle is fit enough to start, but not fit enough to finish the game. And we've got Zakowski on the bench who can come on and play there if need be. But this is the team. We're going with Jaskalainen in goal. Hecker making his debut at left back. Anderson, Sullivan and Lopez, the rest of the defence. Wintle at the base of the midfield. Taylor and Wassell ahead of him. And then Jones and Patton supporting Joyce up front. I'm toying with the idea of making Joyce a false 9 and really emphasising the attack from Jones and Patton. I just don't. I worry that at 18 years old, with that kind of finishing as well, maybe making him a false 9 isn't going to get the best out of him. So we'll leave him as an advance forward for today. If it doesn't work, then we'll look to switch it up. But what we've got with that front three is we have 3 very fast strikers who will score goals. And hopefully the defence is just going to be solid enough to allow them the opportunity to get up there and score the goals that I'm certainly certain they're going to be well worth. But it's Reading who are starting things off with a throw. If we could win the ball back and do one of these counter-attacks, that would be lovely. The one thing we're not doing is playing a counter-attacking system. And we're still doing the positive mentality gegenpressing thing, even when we're doing the 4-3-3. And we've now gone a goal down, which is not ideal. Maybe we should be doing a counter-attacking system, bearing in mind we've got the players to do it perfectly now with those 3 attackers. That's a frustrating goal to concede. and as it stands, pushes us down to 4th. Reading are lurking. They're one of the teams lurking just outside the playoffs. So they'll certainly be thinking a win today puts them in this playoff mix. And we need to make sure that at the end of today, they're absolutely not in the playoff mix. That's poor from Patton. He's given the ball away there. And we've already seen Reading are capable of hitting us on the break. They've done it twice now. And they're beating us at our own game. This is exactly what I've said I want to do to teams. And they've done it to us twice in the first 10 minutes of this game. Well, that's not how today was supposed to go. I am now caught in indecision and wondering, I don't know what to do. We could go more attacking. We could switch to the 4-2-3-1. If it was still only 1-0, we could switch to a counter-attacking system and try that. This isn't working. Well, I need a plan. Right, here's Hecker. Our first look at him. Beautiful pass through to Jones, but his shot is straight into the arms of the Reading goalkeeper. And yeah, I'm a little bit upset with how this is going so far. I think Wintel's going to come off at half time and we're going to go to the 4-2-3-1. Or we might even do a 4-4, like a 4-2-4. Maybe take off Joyce and try Jones and Patton together. It's one thing we've not actually done, play those two up front on their own very often, mainly because they're such similar strikers. I feel like they shouldn't work together. This is hideous, what is happening here. Forget waiting till half time. This is utterly hideous. Right. We go to this. Joyce is coming off. We're getting these boys up front. And have we got wingers on the bench? We've just signed all these wingers. We better have wingers on the bench. Right, Burak can come on that side. He's going to play as a winger. And Livramento, Steve Wilson. Maybe Steve Wilson will come on. Can Joyce play wide? He can play wide on the right, apparently. So actually, we might leave him on and have him as an inside forward. No, an inverted winger. Let's focus on getting the ball to these two boys. He's going to be a pressing forward. He's going to be an advanced forward. We're going to go attacking. And we're going to do that. There you go. We've responded. We've made changes. We're trying our two strikers up front together. Let's see how they get on. Let's berate the team because I'm disgusted with how this match has started. And if we can grab a goal back before half time, we maybe give ourselves a chance. Ball over the top for Jones to chase. Jones should score here. He's in, and it's a very good save from the Reading goalkeeper. And Ricky J. Jones has had a couple of good chances today, and it's troublesome that he's not scoring them. Cross comes over from the corner. It's cleared as far as Joyce. It's back to Burak now, who goes past his man and shoots, and it's just over, and we're getting chances. We're just not capitalising on them. We're actually ahead for XG, which is sickening when you're 3-0 down. We're doing better for XG. This is one of those freak results that we've just caught an opposition striker playing out of his skin, and he's ruined us. But there's still no excuse. We still need to find a way back into the game. If we're serious about being a Premier League team next year, that's absolutely what we need to be doing. Am I going to thrash my arms? I'm going to thrash my arms. Tell them that's been extremely poor, because it has. And hopefully we offer up something a little bit different in this second half. Although it's Reading with the first highlight of the second half, and they're attacking again. Right, Hecker clears it to Patton. Patton nodding down to Burak. We've actually got a man over here, but Burak gives the ball away. And that's poor from him. And now we've got a corner. Burak with the in-swinger. Solomon's there, but hits... I think it's hit the outside of the post. We're missing Reece Devine already. We want him back. Oh, imagine a transfer like that ruining the season. They've stuck Bristow out wide. They're so confident. The man who's ruined us is now playing on the wing. Right, we've got a goal back. It's a header from Solomon. Hits the crossbar or the post or something again. Rebounds to Patton, who does convert. And we've got 32 minutes of game left and 2 goals to make up to save some face in this game. It is doable. We're demanding more. And we need to do something. Come on, boys. Someone show me something. Ricky J. Jones is having a terrible game. We're going to... Do we bring on Kasani to slot in behind him and maybe do this? But perhaps have him as a shadow striker, getting right up there. I mean, that is what we're going to be doing. I'm discussing it as if I'm just floating ideas. I've already made the decision. That's what we're doing. And you know what? We're going to bring on Gaz Key as well. And we're just going to send a bit of a message to Hecker that he needs to be as good as Divine. He's not been good enough so far. Maybe we need to make him an inverted wing back. But then we need to play an actual wide player on the left, and we always have someone cutting in. I don't want two players cutting in on the same side. It'll just be a mess. We'll have no width on that left side, and that can't end well. Right, Reading with a corner. 15 minutes remaining. We need to counter-attack and score from this. It's headed clear to Burak, and this is the counter-attack opportunity. Burak racing clear. He's got support from whoever that is. That's Joyce, who's up there supporting. I thought I'd taken him off. Why did I leave him on and take Jones off? I could have stuck... I mean, Burak's injured now. He's got a tight calf. This has not gone to plan today. That should be Jones out there. We could have Jones there and Burak there. I've messed up. I've messed up, boys and girls. Oh, no. Well, like I say, mixed form. Very much mixed form. Joyce, he's clear. There's seconds remaining. It's a lovely cross and it's a lovely finish. It's a very nice goal. And I guess it's saved face a little bit, only being the 1-goal deficit. I still maintain we've been the better team, and we just got hit by a striker in incredible form. Patton definitely doing himself some favours to get another run in the team playing up front. We've given him the opportunity there, and he's grabbed 2 goals. So it's been a decent second half to performance. Patton was a high point. But on the whole, what a load of turd. And we need to do much better than that in this game against Birmingham. Right, we're shuffling things around a little bit for the Birmingham game. We're going to the 4-2-3-1, which means Kasani comes in for Wintle, who still isn't fully fit, so he can drop down onto the bench and continue to recuperate with Kasani coming in as an attacking option. We've also shuffled around the front 3 to get Patton up front. Jones can go out to the left. Joyce can play on the right, and we'll try him in this combination. I'm determined to make these 3 players function as an attack. They should work. They're all awesome. Maybe they're all a bit too similar though. But hopefully this will be the solution. This is the answer. This is how it needs to work. We got there in the end. That's what I'll be saying in a minute. That's the hope. Right, Hecker with the long throw. Goodness me, that's a long throw. And that's a 28th goal of the season for Ricky J. Jones. We don't have long throws turned on as an instruction because by and large, they don't seem to work very well on FM21. But we might just have brought in a player here who's going to be as effective with his throws as his predecessor Divine was with corners. Because that was a big throw way over the top of the goalkeeper, and Jones was there positioned perfectly, but was 1-0 up inside the first minute of the game. And now it's Joyce, who hopefully will have some extra motivation today playing against Birmingham as a Wolves player to put on a show. There's a minute and a half on the clock and we're 2-0 up. Patton has his 19th for the season. And, well, this little shuffle around seems to have worked, doesn't it? Jones has scored. Patton's got a goal. Joyce has got an assist. Oh, in fact, it's Kasani with the assist. But regardless, maybe this is the road. Maybe this is the way. Maybe this is the front 3. We're going to make decisions for the rest of the season based on the first 90 seconds of this match. Hecker plays it forward to Jones, and Jones just turns and runs. He's got Hecker on the overlap, who plays it all the way back to Wassell, who's got Lopez overlapping on this side. We're switching the play around nicely here. There's Joyce. There's a goal. All 3 of them have scored inside the first 9 minutes. I knew there'd be a combination. We found it. We found the combination, boys and girls. It's Peterborough 3, Birmingham 0, with less than 9 minutes on the clock. And there we go. They have to play this way round. Patton is a striker after all. Who knew? After Football Manager, what a game. Right, Kasani with the free kick. It's an in-swinger. We've won a penalty. It's going to be Joyce to take, apparently, which seems like a strange choice. But I'll let him go with it. If we're going to ruin any of our strikers, I'll ruin the one that's not ours. And he scores. There's no ruining him. It's 4-0 on 14 minutes. What a contrast to the Reading game. What do I read into this, boys and girls? Are we doing the 4-2-3-1 for the rest of the year now, home and away? Are we abandoning the 4-3-3 entirely? Or are we just better than Birmingham and Reading were better than us? Bearing in mind, if you look at the league table, Reading and Birmingham are right there, 13th and 14th. So there shouldn't really be that much between the two sides. But we've done to Birmingham with bells on what Reading did to us at the start of that game that we've just played. Jääskeläinen now with the ball forward, looking for Joyce, who of course is now on a hat-trick, playing out wide for us for the first time from the start anyway, and seemingly having a delightful time doing it. Anderson plays the ball forward, looking for Patton, who wasn't really alert to what was going on. I guess from Patton's point of view, we're 4-0 up. There's only 25 minutes gone. He doesn't need to run very hard for the rest of the game now. Just do enough to make sure he doesn't look too lazy. But there's no point risking pulling a hamstring by putting some serious effort in now. The work is done for today at 4-0 up on 36 minutes. And the league table, we're still 8 points behind West Brom. How are they getting on? Because, of course, I do still have aspirations of chasing them and catching them and going up automatically because the playoffs are a nightmare. Birmingham have got a goal back. That wasn't part of the plan. Jääskeläinen, question marks here. Let's have a little look. From the other angle, so the cross comes over here, I think. It's just a good header, isn't it? There's not really anyone to blame for that. If you're going to look at anybody, you maybe look at Lopez letting the header happen. He's let the striker get the wrong side of him, but otherwise, it was just a good cross and a very good header. As long as that's all they're offering, then we don't need to worry too much about that. Right, we were looking in on West Brom. Are they playing today? This is why I want to be able to have boxes on the match screen still, but you can't. We're not allowed. Joyce doesn't win the ball there, and it would have been really rather pleasant if he had. And Birmingham have got the opportunity to grab a second here, and luckily Jääskeläinen's got this one covered, because if it goes 4-2 with 35 minutes to go, I do start to worry a little bit, because we do have a tendency to be a little bit porous defensively in this system. We could bring Wintle on. We could stick him on for the last half an hour and switch to the other one, which is more defensively solid. Despite what you just saw against Reading, having Wintle in there does make a bit of a difference. So maybe that's the sensible thing to do. We could even switch to a counter-attacking system as part of doing it. And the old counter-attacking system we used down in League One, and actually sit back and be like a real football team. Patton is in here, and Patton scores a 20th goal of the season for him, a 5th for us for today. And I think we are now going to sit back for the rest of the game. We're going to just take it easy. We're going to go to this was the old counter-attacking system we used to use. So Kasani can come off, Wintle can come on and slot into that role. And we'll make him his usual playmaker. Wassel can be a Mazzala. We don't want a ball-playing defender. That's just asking for trouble. And he can be the inside forward that he already was. But I don't mind dropping him back down to being on support so that we continue to have Lopez being attacking. And we'll do that on a cautious mentality. The one thing we probably don't have is our corner instruction set up, because it'll be the old one. Yeah, it's the old one. So we just need to swap him and him and him. And just basically shuffle everything around a little bit. And do that. There we go. Boom. Substitution made. We'll look at the replay now. I forgot we scored a goal. So Taylor intercepts in midfield. Joyce doing very well again. To play it into the path of Patton, who just is so quick. He's used his pace there. And a lovely composed finish. And now we're... I don't remember the last time I did this in a video. We've taken a nice lead. And now we're just sitting back and trying to defend said nice lead. It's going to be interesting to see if we're still capable of doing this, or whether we should have just carried on attacking and tried to get a cricket score. But Birmingham coming at us here, Hecker with a nice little tackle. And, oh my word, Jääskeläinen gets there eventually, and Hecker with the clearance clears it into the back of the Birmingham attacker who's in front of him, and it goes out. In fact, it couldn't have been that, because it's gone out for a corner. I don't know who he's kicked it into. I guess he's kicked it into a posh player, or kicked it into the Birmingham player, then it's come back and hit him. But goal kick, Taylor intercepts again. This is like a carbon copy of the goal we just scored. Their goalkeeper needs to maybe focus on not hitting Jack Taylor with his goal kicks, because they just keep coming straight back to him whenever he does it. How many substitutions have we made? Is it just the one so far? I think it is. Let's have a look at fitness levels. Let's try and keep these boys fit. So Wassell could maybe come off. We've got Zakowski who can come on in there and just release Jack Taylor a little bit more. And then what about the front three? Maybe Jones. Jones, I'm not worried about him yet, but it would be nice to see Jones back to his best. We can give Morgan an opportunity to come on and play on that left-hand side, though, which does mean if he's a winger, we could maybe have a look at Hecker as an inverted wing-back. We might make him support and switch him to attack now and just drop him down to support as well and just sit back a little bit more. Look at me button clicking. It's just sometimes you have to show the world you can click buttons. And this is one of those times. With the throw, it ends up with Wintle, who's got all the space and time in the world. Goes back to Anderson. He probably could have done something a little more creative with that, but instead it's over the top to Patton, and that would have been one of the greatest goals you've ever seen if that goes in. The ball is cleared up to Patton, who doesn't try and bring it down. He just turns and hits it first time, and it's come back off the crossbar. Simon Patton is full of confidence again, and that's why he's the striker at the moment. We've talked about this being the plan all year long. Whichever striker is attempting stuff like that and playing with that kind of confidence, he's the one who plays up front. Jones can play himself back into form out on the left wing, and then hopefully by the time Patton drops out of form, Jones is ready to come back in there and score 4 goals in a match again and be ridiculous. Here's your proof that we're not very good at sitting back and defending. We actually dropped Lopez back a little bit, and he's still let a player in behind him there. And it's just generally sloppy defending. We've made all 3 subs now, haven't we? Oh my word. Oh my word. Lopez actually does quite well there. Yeah, we have made all 3 subs, so we can't do anything else from here other than just sit and take our medicine now. Jaskalainen dropping a corner is not really what we were looking for in this match. And what we're learning here is we're no longer any good at counter-attacking. Birmingham are actually ahead on XG. It is a reversal of the Reading game. Birmingham will feel very hard done by to have conceded 5 goals today, and they've just been caught by a front 3 that are all very good. Whereas in the Reading game, we were caught by a 1 who was exceptional. But it shows how important having good strikers in good form can be for these games when the rest of the team doesn't play so well. It's 5-3 now. I mean, I'm glad I've tried this because now I know not to try it again. This is why the amount of times people have said to me, Kev, when you're ahead, defend the lead. This is why I don't defend the lead, because this always happens. We go to defend the lead and we end up conceding goals off the back of it. My only way of playing is to attack, outscore the opposition. We should have won that 8-4, not 5-3. Pathetic. But I am happy with the result. Well played, boys. And yeah, we're back in the promotion hunt. Let's have a look at the league table off the back of that. And we are still 3rd. We're still 8 points behind West Brom. And with 15 games to go? It's doable. It's just going to be hard. We'll be back tomorrow as ever. Probably with Burnley and Villa as a double header. I mean, we've got to do that, haven't we? It's the FA Cup 5th round and top of the table clash. It's got to be that one. We'll do Burnley and Villa and then probably one more regular season game and then likely the playoffs after that. So we're hitting the business end of this season. And if we don't go up this year, I think there's a very good chance this will be the last year with Posh as well. So we kind of need to go up or win the FA Cup. Let's do something fun. Let's spice things up a little bit. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.